How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the last episode of Bringing Back Bottas. This is being released on the release day of F1 22, so I want to get to F1 22 content, but this will be the last ever F1 2021 episode, and it's about right that we have to finish off this series. I didn't want to leave it with one race to go, so I did it just last night, and today, this morning, I'm editing it, uploading it. Oh, I could be playing F1 22, so it's a little frustrating, but I was very busy this weekend, so I could not get onto it. But you can see we were struggling in Q2. I only managed to qualify on the soft tyres, and then only P9 for the final race. Lewis Hamilton in P2, Max Verstappen down in P6. So it's been an awful qualifying, but let's go into Abu Dhabi and see how we can do.
Just one challenge remains here in the United Arab Emirates on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 21 corners here at the As Marina circuit, 12 to the left and 9 to the right. It's a total lap distance of just over 3.4 miles. There are two long back straights opening up some passing opportunities into the braking zones, and we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles an hour. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the rundown into turn one. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Verstappen, a Mercedes, and Tsunoda. Ocon, Ricciardo, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Raikkonen and Carlos Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Norris, George Russell and Fernando Alonso, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Gasly, Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Lewis has got a chance of winning the Drivers' Championship today. Don't get in his way.
Alright, Jeff, my last ever race with you, you're going to tell me to get out of the way of Lewis Hamilton, even though we're both fighting for the championship. What the hell is that all about? But as you saw, we are up into P5 because of penalties. We're going to go with a two-stop race. But here we are in Abu Dhabi. Final race of the season. It's 5 red lights. For some reason, it is still light outside. But away we go. We don't get the best of starts. Verstappen gets a very good start up ahead on the medium tyres. We've got Yuki Tsunoda down the inside. Up ahead, Verstappen make contact with Hamilton. Both the Red Bulls sandwich Lewis Hamilton. And we try and take advantage of it as we go around the outside of Max Verstappen. We've made a position. We're up in the P4. I don't know if Hamilton, Perez or Verstappen got damaged. It looked like they were just banging tyres, as now Verstappen's having to go at us around the outside, but we say no to that. Yellow flag at the back of the grid, so someone's either spun or got a bit of damage, but up we go into P4. It's been a good start, and now we're going to try and hang with this front group. Thankfully, Leclerc is out in front, so he'll be able to hold up Lewis Hamilton for a bit. And on lap 4, you can see is as we were. You know, no changes. You can see Tsunoda losing track of the front 5, but you know, Leclerc has really thrown a spanner in the works here. He's holding up. Both Mercedes have both Red Bulls, with 3 of them fighting for the championship. And Jeff is telling me to check a new strategy. No, thank you, Jeff. We're going for an overtake down the inside of Sergio Perez. Can we get it done? Yes, we can. We break a little late into the corner, but we just keep it in between the white lines. And now the car in front of us is the car that we want. Lewis Hamilton is the one that we want to be fighting with. And after 7 laps, you can see we are still stuck behind Hamilton as we go very, very close to his rear wing. Leclerc out in front, he's doing a phenomenal job holding us all up. That Ferrari has got really fast at the end of this season. I think it's much better qualifying wise than it is race pace. But, you know, he sticks it on pole. And then every other car struggles to get through. But you can see we're in P3, Hamilton in P2, and we're going to go for the undercut, hence why you saw us say box this lap. And we'll box onto the mediums and try and get past Hamilton and maybe even Leclerc as well. And you can see we come into the pits. We go a little too quick, and we almost end our race there, touching the barriers. But we're in with Sergio Perez following us behind, which is a little bit worrying because look how close he is. He might be able to jump us in the pits, so we need a good pit stop here as the Mercedes crew get it going. We get a 2.8 and we are ahead of the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Thankfully, we got out just before the Ferrari came in. It gives us a little bit of breathing room to Perez. But on this lap, we need a good lap. And you can see there's back markers up ahead. But we struggle. We go over a big bump on the inside. That's going to give Perez a huge chance to have a go at us. He's got DRS. He's coming round the outside. Sergio Perez, this is awful. The undercut is not working at all here. As we go down the inside of Sergio Perez, we're going to try and hold the position. But all while this is happening, we're just losing time. We needed a very good lap on the undercut to get ahead of both Hamilton and Leclerc. But instead, we've lost maybe 2-3 seconds just from fighting with Sergio Perez. So it doesn't look good at all right now. So now you can see Lewis Hamilton comes into the pits a lap later. Sergio Perez looked like he had to go down the inside. I think he did get wing damage from trying to do that. But as Hamilton comes out the pits, are we going to be able to get ahead of him? No, we are way behind him, and we're behind Charles Leclerc as well. So Hamilton's actually managed to get ahead of Leclerc, and we are behind Leclerc and Hamilton still. So, and you can see Jeff just giving us a gap behind. We don't care about the cars behind. We're concentrating on the cars up ahead. We're behind Leclerc, and Hamilton has a bit of traffic up ahead, but he goes down the inside. They're going 3 wide. He's banging wheels with Lance Stroll and the Aston Martin. We're going to see if we can take advantage of this. Can we get a good exit? Yes, we can. We're going to go down the inside of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. We get that move done, and now we're going to get the moves done to the cars up ahead as they slam on the brakes. Scares me a little bit. But we're going to be stuck behind Latifi and Stroll for the 3rd sector, and Hamilton's going to be able to get a bit of breathing room, and this is not good at all for our race. We're about a third of the way in, and Hamilton is ahead by a couple seconds as we go round the outside of Nicholas TV. Don't see moves done there too often, but against the Williams on warm tyres, we were expected to come out on top. Just got to get past Lance Stroll, and then we can close up to Hamilton, which we do a couple laps later. Verstappen out in front. He is having a phenomenal race. And don't forget, Verstappen is not out of this championship. You know, Hamilton was on 304, I believe, or 306. I was on 304, and Verstappen on 292. So if Verstappen wins this race, and we finish 4th, and Hamilton 5th, Verstappen will take home the World Drivers' Championship, as long as he gets fastest lap with it. So he is not out of this just yet, and seeing the pace of both Ferraris shows that they could be in with a fight for the race. But you can see there, we go round the outside of Lewis Hamilton. He has nothing to say about that one. Up into P2 we go. Maybe we even want a race win here against Verstappen. But what a move that is against Lewis Hamilton. That is a huge, huge move for the World Drivers' Championship. And a few more laps later, Jeff is talking to me on the radio. You know, I like chatting with Jeff. It's his last ever race. We've got to keep him involved. Hamilton, I think, tried to stick his nose down the inside a little bit there, and that's going to compromise his exit. And you can see Charles Leclerc is all over the back of him. These Ferraris, they want to be involved in this title scrap. You know, you've got the 3 title protagonists, I can't even say that word, at the front, and you got 2 Ferraris right behind, and they're looking to have a go at Hamilton. Leclerc is actually side by side with Lewis Hamilton. He's doing us a huge favour. Look how much time we've already got away from Lewis Hamilton. It's 2.2 seconds. And we're getting away from Hamilton. We lost a lot of time to Verstappen because of the battling we were having with our teammate. But Leclerc has got ahead of Lewis, and that is huge in the championship fight. And we've managed to stay ahead and keep that gap, even though Hamilton's got past Leclerc. And we're going to stay out, and we're going to wait till Hamilton pits, because I believe when he pits, we get... Well, now he pits. Lewis Hamilton pits as I was saying that. So when Hamilton pits, we're going to pit the next lap, and then we should be able to stay ahead. The worry is we don't want to pit and get stuck behind traffic, and then, you know, Hamilton pits and he'll be able to come out ahead of us. But we didn't have the best in lap, and coming out of the pits, it's actually looking like it's going to be very, very close between us and Lewis Hamilton as we get these next. I think we're side by side. We are side by side with Hamilton. We get just ahead of the Ferrari, but we're behind Lewis Hamilton now. But this is not too big of a problem because we're going to have the DRS down the next straight. If we can get a decent enough exit, we should be able to move back up into P3. Leclerc has done a worldly of an undercut. How the heck has he got 4 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton? I do not know. But Charles Leclerc is in P2, as now we're going to go round the outside of Lewis Hamilton. We're up at a P3, and P3 would be enough for the championship. Verstappen in P1. If we finish P3, we will take the championship by 1 point to both Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. But if Carlos Sainz gets past me and Lewis Hamilton, Sainz wins the championship. But if Hamilton gets past us, Hamilton wins the championship. There's so much that could happen here. And Carlos Sainz is actually going to have a go at Hamilton. Hamilton's really struggling with his Ferraris. The Ferraris do not want to see him winning the championship as we go a little bit wide. Hamilton's actually losing place. He's side by side with Carlos Sainz. We're going over a lot of bumps here. We're struggling. But Sainz has got ahead of Lewis Hamilton for now. I'm not sure he's going to stay ahead. But regardless, he's holding them up as we go very, very deep there. And that's cost us a bit of time. But look at that. 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds ahead of our teammate. Hamilton stays ahead. But he's only got 4 laps to make up the difference. I don't think he'll be able to do it. 3 seconds is an awful lot. On the same tyre, on the same wear, and he wasn't able to do it. We're in P3, Hamilton 1.5 seconds behind in P4, Verstappen won the race, Leclerc got P2, but it doesn't matter because we are going to come home in P3 and win the World Drivers' Championship for 2021.
Fantastic drive, and it means you're driver's world champion. What a result. Enjoy it.
What a race. You see Pierre Gasly getting driver of the day,
And so the celebration,
and you can see they're celebrating, doing the donuts. Go on, Valtteri, do as many donuts as you want. Last race for Mercedes and you win the championship by 1 point. Unbelievable.
now then, we have a new World Drivers' Champion. Victory today then, but bittersweet emotions, I'm sure, as the championship slips through their fingers. Even so, what a fantastic final race of the season this was. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So there you have it. We have managed to win the Drivers' World Championship. I think mainly thanks to Lewis Hamilton getting that DNF in Brazil. Hamilton finished P4 in this race. We got P3. Verstappen getting P1. You know, he took it right to the wire and he pushed us all the way. And you can see right here, 319 points was enough for the championship, with Verstappen getting P2 with 318 and Hamilton P3 with 318. I'm not sure if they did that by wins, but regardless, we had a World Drivers' Championship winners, and we'll see you guys in F1 22.